Sometimes we'd even walk with, you have your wife, they call it a wife beater, a vest, a white, with your jeans and your boots. That's for walking. So that if you're sweating and you reach there, your tea is still fresh. It's from the shirt. T-shirt younger, yeah, very fresh. They're like, they're wearing a white tee. The boots are brown, the Timberland boots, so you can't really tell in the night. So if the tea is fresh, would go rap, and people are like, hey, okay. But then I was still rapping in English.
Yeah.
My breakthrough actually came through because I realized my purpose as an artist, still through reading books. Most of my knowledge has been through reading books. I studied other industries elsewhere.
Okay.
And then I began analyzing other industries elsewhere with what was missing over here. So I was rapping in English, and the people are not really understanding it.
Not really connecting.
Yes, but when I was rapping to my high school friends or my group of people, they'd be like, "Oh my God, gee, you're so bright. That's such a punchline." Let me say something like, "Life is a crystal. I'm feeling like a new man." You get me? Life is like a crystal. I'm feeling like a new man. You get me? Something like that. They'll be like, "Oh my God, gee, how did you think of that?" So they would understand that. But to a common man on a border,
no.
That's, what did you just say? Agambiechi? Kribichi? So I realized that, oh, there's a disconnect. And then the other disconnect I also realized was our judges and our great judges sat around a fire and began telling stories. Those same stories and their style of telling stories and poetry, Bitontome, is the same way the Americans tell stories on beats. I was like, oh, Eureka! I discovered it. So that was my epiphany. So the next song that I wrote was Soda Jinjale. I was like, in order to bridge the gap between tradition and modern, my generation and the old generation were representing a whole people in Uganda. I'm not in America, I'm not in New York. I'm in Uganda, Ndikawempe, or I'm in Tinda. But then I moved to Tinda. So I was like, I'm in Tinda right now. What would a border man have in common with me, who is educated? What's my judger going to have in common with anybody else? It's like, okay, the language has to be Luganda. Our true essence. Things happen when you're true to yourself. So in my own true self, hip-hop is self-expression. Self meaning us, black people, you as GNL, you as Nsimbi. How do you express yourself to people? So I discovered Luganda was going to be the key. And so I did Soda Jinjale, and then I wrote another song called Yenze. And then from studying the situation of poverty around me, and trying to uplift my people, I did Koi Koi. I wrote Koi Koi in Luganda. And then I began shopping all those songs around to people, right? To radio stations. But then they were not so welcoming because the beat was more of an American beat, and they were not familiar with it. Yes, and we went through struggle. They wouldn't pay, the promoters wouldn't pay, and even if they paid, you'd be the first on stage. People are throwing things at you. But because I'd built a resilience and I knew what I wanted, that was just a means to what I wanted to get to. I knew they didn't know what I had, and the moment it clicked, it was unstoppable because I'd performed on every ghetto stage, from Kasubi to Namuongo to Namugongo to Ntinda, like the whole of Kampala, and without a car. It was either on a border. A fans who really appreciated the music. Yeah, but even back then, my company was called Baboon. I formed a company even as a poor man. I was like, I'm going to call it Baboon Forest.
So where did the Baboon Forest come from? Was it a conversation and you just said, oh yeah, this sounds right, this feels good?
Yeah, so Baboon Forest came from my love for monkeys. I love monkeys. I love big monkeys, apes, And because I love movies as well, I loved Rafiki from Lion King with his colorful face, And if you get to realize, Rafiki is actually the wisest man in the whole pride. Everybody wants to be king, but kings come and go. Mufasa died, Mufasa's father died, but Rafiki covered there for a very long time, And Rafiki's role in the kingdom, in the Lion King, is to actually inform other kings when they have forgotten who they are.
Yeah, to guide them.
To guide them so that they can reach their true potential and greatness.
Yeah.
So Rafiki is the storyteller. You get me?
Right.
Yes. So I became the storyteller. And the collective of the storyteller, to me, Rafiki, would be the person to guide everybody to becoming great. It's not only about Zamba, it's also about becoming great.